We're going to multiply whole numbers times decimals. When we multiply with decimals, we don't have to worry about lining up decimal points like we did when we added and subtracted. What we'll do is we'll multiply as if the decimal is not there and then put the decimal in its correct place in the product when we're finished. So we'll start 3 times 2 is 6, 3 times 3 is 9, 3 times 6 is 18. Now to figure out where the decimal point would go in the product, we have to count the number of decimal places in both factors. In 6 and 32 hundredths, there are 2 decimal places. In 3, there are no decimal places because there's no decimal point. So we have a total of 2 decimal places in the factors. So we're going to show 2 decimal places in the product and put the decimal point to make 18 and 96 hundredths. In our second example, we'll go ahead and again not worry about the decimal until we're finished multiplying. 8 times 7 is 56. 8 times 0 is 0, plus 5 would be 5. 8 times 4 is 32. Now that we're finished multiplying, we have to place the decimal in the product. So in our first factor, we count 1 decimal place. In the second factor, there are no decimal places. So we have a total of 1 decimal place. So we show 1 decimal place in our product. So the answer is 325 and 6/10. When we multiply a decimal times a 2-digit number, we again don't worry about the decimal until after we multiply. 7 times 3 is 21. 7 times 9 is 63, plus 2 is 65. 7 times 4 is 28, plus 6 will give us 34. We're finished multiplying the 7, so now we'll multiply times 1. We have to remember the 1 is actually 10, so we add a 0 before we multiply. 1 times 3 is 3. 1 times 9 is 9. 1 times 4 is 4. We add. And now we count decimal places. There are 2 in the first factor, no decimal places in the second factor. We have 2 decimal places in our product, which is 83 and 81 hundredths. In our last example, we'll show again, we'll multiply first. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 3 is 12. Before we multiply by the 5, we're going to add a 0. 5 times 2 is 10. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 1 is 6. 5 times 3 is 15. So we'll add. And now we have to place the decimal. We have 2 decimal places in the first factor, no decimal places in the second factor. So we have a total of 2 decimal places in the product to get 168 and 48 hundredths.